7 brutal mistakes that wasted 7 years of my life. Do not do this. Welcome back to the Jack of All Gains, Master of None podcast, hosted by Joe Yaxley, electrician now turned fitness coach for 12 plus years. That was electrician for 12 plus years, by the way. This is the #1 health and fitness podcast for tradesmen looking to lose fat, build muscle, and boost their energy levels without adding another job to the diary. Now working with tradesmen all over the world, different ages, different trades, different shapes and sizes. On this podcast, I'll be using my decade of experience working on-site, on the tools as an electrician, giving you tips, tricks, and knowledge, showing you how to master your fitness journey as a tradesman and avoid the daily trips to Greggs, McDonald's, and service stations to buy meal deals, with insights into the systems and strategies that we've used to help transform the lives of over 500 tradesmen over the last 2 years alone. Without further ado, let's talk more action. Let's get into the episode. So 7 brutal mistakes that wasted 7 years of my life. Do not do this. Okay, so in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the 7 brutal mistakes that held me back and prevented me seeing the progress that I could have potentially made, meaning that I'd wasted literally 7 years of progress that could have been looking back thinking, holy shit, I could be 7 years ahead of 7 years better than where I am now. Pretty big kick in the balls, to be honest with you, but no mistakes or no regrets, just lessons learned. No mistakes, no regrets, just lessons learned is the saying, okay? Number 7, by the way, as well, literally changed the game for me and literally changed my life moving forwards. As a background into my health and fitness journey, I started training at 16, okay? So it was the year I left school. I joined the gym. I started training, and it wasn't until literally a couple of years ago now. So I'm now 27, I believe. Yeah, I am 27. It wasn't until I turned 23 that I'd actually started seeing the progress that I should have been making all those years ago, okay? Which left me wondering, what if? And the biggest kick in the balls as well is that most fitness professionals will tell you you can make the most progress in the first 1 to 2 years of training. So knowing that I'd wasted 7 years again, massive kick in the balls. The reality is, though, I could have been so much further ahead if only I would have learned, if only I'd have known these 7 truths, okay? Or mistakes, should I say, that I've made. If I'd have been implementing them from the very beginning, I could be so much further ahead. But again, the point of this podcast is to point you guys in a direction so you don't have to make the mistakes I did, essentially, okay? The saying is, a smart person learns from their mistakes, a wise person learns from other people's, okay? Let's get into it. Mistake number 1, letting stress and work control my life. I used to chase money over fulfillment. What do I mean by that? I used to say yes to absolutely everything. I used to be frightened of keeping everybody happy and wanting to keep everybody happy. Ultimately, that was a mistake that held me back for so long, okay? Led to burnout, not ever feeling satisfied with the way I look, not ever satisfied with the way that I felt. Confidence levels were low. Extra stress, low motivation, low energy levels. One thing led to another, and essentially, again, working for what? One thing that I say to all my clients or all the guys that we work with on the program, it's all right working, it's all right earning extra money, it's all right keeping the customers happy, but if you're putting yourself on the back burner, let's say you're earning loads of money and then you can't enjoy it, or cash rich, time poor, should I say. You might have loads of money, but you're time poor, you can't spend it with your friends, your family, or your kids, okay? Stress also, on this one, stress increases cortisol. Cortisol is basically the body's stress hormone. This makes fat loss so much more difficult as well. So again, if I wouldn't have been so stressed, living chasing money all the time, chasing fulfillment at work, trying to keep every bloody customer happy, potentially my stress levels would have been lower. I could have got into shape a lot easier, okay? On cortisol as well, why cortisol makes it harder for your body to burn body fat is because when your stress levels are elevated, your body's main priority is to reduce those stress levels, okay? Bring those stress levels down. It doesn't give a shit about burning body fat if you're stressed, okay? So that's going to be its main priority. So that's mistake number 1. I let stress and work control my life for way too long, okay? Should not have been chasing money over fulfillment. Let that be a lesson to you. Always chase your feelings, the way you look, the way you feel over money, okay? Mistake number 2. Thinking the best way to lose weight was to drop my calories. Dropping my calories lower and lower. Essentially, like in my head, I was thinking, cool, dropping my calories low must mean that I'm going to lose body fat faster. But this is probably one of the biggest, like one of the most stupid things that you could ever do. Just keep dropping your calories lower and lower and lower and lower. Okay. This is where as well, having a coach comes in handy, because having a second eye looking at everything. Otherwise, if you drop your calories low, you guys know what it's like listening to this. When you look in the mirror and you're not happy with what you see, it's easy to think, well, I'm not happy with what I'm seeing. I'm going to actually pull my calories lower and lower and lower. I'm going to reduce food even more. I'm going to eat less. That isn't always the best way to go forwards, okay? It can work short term, but it is not good for sustainable fat loss. If you want long-term results that are going to last, do not play the game of how many calories can I cut, how little food can I eat, because it's fucking stupid. As tradesmen, working on the tools, working physical manual jobs, we burn a lot of calories. We need a lot of energy. Most of you might say, as an electrician, you don't need energy, you don't do fuck all, but still, whatever trade you're in, if you're in the trade, any kind of fucking bloke who's actually doing a physical manual job, you need carbohydrates, you need calories, so do not starve yourself as stupid. Cutting calories super low made me feel sluggish, tired, lethargic, led to low energy levels. Low energy levels led to low motivation, low libido, so low sex drive. Again, when you cut your calories low, your hormone functions drop, your sex mood or your libido, your sex drive goes down. Okay, bad mood swings, turned into an anxious, turned into a nasty, turned into a snappy person to be around. Okay, so don't be one of those people who just starves your fucking self, because you'll end up crashing, binging, falling, and eating more anyway. So that's stupid. Less calories is not always the best way to lose weight. Okay, so that was mistake number 2. Mistake number 3, thinking that carbohydrates made me fat. This is kind of leading on from number 2. Carbohydrates do not make you fat. Overeating makes you fat. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet and straight to the point, because so many of you tradesmen think, got to cut out carbohydrates, got to stop eating bread, it makes me fat. It's bullshit, okay? I used to be guilty in that. My boss used to say, oh, I'm not eating bread, I'm eating salads this week because bread makes me fat, it makes me bloated. I've done a whole podcast on this. Bread does not make you fat. Carbohydrates do not make you fat. The truth is, carbohydrates make your body store water. Hence, if you're stepping on the scales every single day and you have a big carb meal, you've probably consumed more carbohydrates, you've probably consumed more salt. Your body weight, your scale weight is going to increase. Okay, so your body's holding water, it's not gaining fat. So thinking carbs made me fat was mistake number 3. Fucking stupid. Okay. Mistake number 4, thinking I could out-train a bad diet. You cannot out-train a bad diet. I used to live in Greggs. I used to live in McDonald's. I used to live on meal deals. Chicken and stuffing or all-day breakfast sandwiches were my go-to. Also, a big downfall of mine used to be liquid calories, which a lot of you might be able to relate to, and a lot of you might be overlooking. Okay? Having coffee, having lattes, not coffee, but having... It's the thing that comes with coffee. Not many of you are just having coffee, okay? You'll be having lattes, you'll be having milk, you'll be having syrups, you'll be having sugar. If I think how many cup of teas I used to have at some jobs when customers used to offer me drinks, sugar in each drink or 2 sugars in each drink, 4 or 5 drinks across the course of the day. If you were in a calorie deficit, you've now had another 200 odd calories and you're outside of your calorie deficit. So bear that in mind, okay? You can't out-train a bad diet. If your diet is shit and you're having loads of added extra calories, it doesn't matter how much training you do, you're not going to outwork this, okay? We have guys as well, just while we're on this point, we have guys in our program who have lost and are losing currently a significant amount of weight without even training. So that goes to show the importance of dieting. Shout out to an ex-client of mine, Thomas Windle. If you're listening to this, he owns Gardenscape Wiltshire. Very, very good gardener, on the tools ambassador, I believe. He lost over 40 pounds, he lost over 40 pounds of body weight within just 60 days. He did not train at all. We'd done a few press-ups at home. Most of his journey was through dieting. And then we've got a current client on the plan, Brian Wilson. He owns a plumbing and heating company. He has lost 28 kilos within his first 19 weeks, hasn't stepped foot in the gym once. So that goes to show how much progress you can make without training, okay? Foods, most foods you're eating as well right now are so calorie consuming and calorie dense, okay? So those of you thinking you can out-train a bad diet or train really hard and it doesn't matter what you eat and you're stopping at Greg's every single day, you're having meal deals, just understand that things like sausage rolls, things like steak bakes, things like pizza slices contain a hell of a load of calories. They're calorie dense, which means you don't have to have a lot of them to gain loads of calories. So although you might be having 2 sausage rolls and a packet of crisps a day, I'm barely eating anything, it's probably outside you're probably putting yourself above maintenance and outside of your calorie deficit. So bear that in mind. You cannot out-train a bad diet. I could not out-train a bad diet. Dial in your fucking diet and stop fucking sitting on the bike on the treadmill thinking you can sit on it for 2 hours and then eat shit, because you cannot, okay? Mistake number 5 was making excuses instead of just taking action, okay? I used to tell myself, that was not me trumping, by the way. If anyone could hear that, that is my chair. It just made a terrible squeak, squeaking against my table. But telling myself I was too busy and it was not the right time instead of just getting started. I used to make excuses and wait for the right time all the fucking time. And it's stupid as well. To break these 2 excuses down one by one, okay? Number 1, used to be too busy, in quotation marks. And number 2, it is not the right time for me to start. If we start with too busy, this is a stupid quote, because somebody who says I'm too busy to start, this used to be me, right? I used to say, nah, I'm too busy, I got too much on. If you say you're too busy to start, it almost assumes that when you're not busy, you're just going to jack it in again. So I'm too busy to start, so I'll start basically when I don't have as much on. That assumes that if you're making progress, you're smashing it out. When you then get busy at work again, you're just going to jack in your fitness and fat loss journey. It's fucking stupid. So don't say the excuse that you're too busy, because that assumes that when you get busy again, you're just going to jack it in. So that's a bullshit excuse. And also on that as well, surely you want to be busy, right? Like if you wasn't busy at work, your priority probably wouldn't be the way you look, the way you feel. It'd be getting money, it would be paying the bills, right? So if you could work smarter, be more productive and make more money, it's a win-win. So surely you want to be busy and in shape. I mean, personally, it's a win-win to me. Be busy, be in shape, make more money, look better, feel better. It's an absolute win-win. And then second excuse I used to make, it is not the right time. I had no motivation to start, and I was basically waiting for a time when I was motivated. It's not the right time. I'll do it when I'm motivated. You know what I mean? I'm not motivated to start at the moment. The truth is, though, how you gain motivation is by training, is by dieting, is by seeing results, releasing endorphins, making and seeing changes. When you start looking better, when you start feeling better, you will be more motivated, because it drives you and it motivates you to do more and be better. Okay? It's hard to be motivated when you eat shit and you're unhappy. Think about that, okay? So making excuses instead of just taking action and jumping right in was mistake number 5. Mistake number 6. Caring too much about other people's opinions and letting this hold me back from doing the things that I wanted to do. I used to be somebody who used to listen to the blokes on site who used to be 10 stone overweight, smoke 50 fags a day, live at home with their parents, 65 years old. Not that there's anything wrong with that if anybody's listening to that. But I used to listen to people who weren't in the position that I wanted to be, and this used to hold me back. Okay, I was worried about judgment. I was worried about failing and what they would say. I used to take my lunch to work. I used to prep my lunch and take it to work. And I remember guys used to say to me, oh, that's all right. Fucking, we're having fish and chips today, or it's fish and chip Friday, or we're going to the burger van. And I used to take my lunch to work, keep it in my bag, and buy fish and chips or buy a burger because of peer pressuring me to do it. And ultimately, again, unless the person respectively is in the position you want to be, unless Fat John who lives at home, smokes 50 fags a day and has 8 tinnies a night, unless that's the life you want to live, then don't give a shit what Big John says. I'm just using John as an example, okay? I don't know who Big John is. He's a made-up character. But stop caring what people think. This was one of the, again, probably up there with one of the top things that held me back for so long. When I started surrounding myself with people who supported my goals, blocking out the noise, this was when I made the most progress. This is when I actually started moving forwards in my fitness journey, in my health, in my happiness, in my business, okay? And an example on this as well was when I first started my business, I played football at the time. And there's a quote I enjoy. At first they laugh, then they ask how, then they ask for help. There used to be lads who used to take the piss. Oh, he's fucking recording these videos again. 2 weeks later, How are you doing it? How are you growing your followers? How are you growing your business? 2 weeks later, 2 months later, Joe, can you help me lose body fat? Okay, so at first they laugh, then they ask how, then they ask for help. Okay, that's a brilliant quote. That is by me. But do not care, do not overthink what other people think about you. Okay, because ultimately people are going to judge you no matter what. So you may as well do it and do what makes you happy. Okay, mistake number 7. This is the biggest one of them all. Not getting help sooner or having a clear plan. Okay, this was the biggest mistake that stopped me seeing the most amount of progress. Not getting help sooner and not having a clear plan. Okay, I held back for so long because I used to just try it alone. I used to research plans on Google, on YouTube, watch loads of videos, waste loads of time, doing different training plans every week, trying different diet plans every week. Shiny object syndrome is what this is called, okay? The truth is, when you have somebody who's in the position you want to be in, number one, you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't know how to get to the goal where you want to be, how do you expect to do it by doing the same shit, okay? The definition of insanity is doing the same shit but expecting different results. I think that was Albert Einstein who said that, but that's so true, okay? So many people say to me, Joe, I'm going to try one more time alone by myself. And they're doing the same shit that they've always done, yet expecting different outcomes. So that one's rubbish as well. I used to believe that. And second of all, when you have a coach or when you have somebody to guide you, somebody to help you, somebody to hold you accountable and on track, it stops you making shitty excuses because it's so easy. I personally, when I was starting my fitness journey, I used to do it by myself. I used to skip meals. I used to say, that's all right, I'll have a burger on a Friday. It won't matter. The compound effects, this doesn't matter, that doesn't matter, this doesn't matter, that doesn't matter, I'll get away with that. The truth is, when you have somebody else that you're kind of feeling like you're going to get let down, it plays a massive factor in people seeing progress, okay? So I should have invested into coaches and mentors sooner. I tried to figure it all out alone instead of learning from somebody who was in the position I wanted to be. And that's business-wise, that's fitness-wise as well. Learn from somebody who's in the position, who looks like you want to look, who's helped people how you want to look as well. Who's helped people get to where you want to be, that kind of thing, okay? It will save you so much time, energy, money. The time you could save, you could be, like the time you could save just paying somebody else to work it out for you and tell you what to do, you could literally be doing what you do best, making more money. So let's think, if you go home, you research, you spend hours on YouTube researching how to make a plan for yourself, you could have just paid somebody, cut the time, and continued like fucking gardening or wiring sockets, whatever trade you're in, making more money than you could have like wasted researching, okay? So use your time wisely and save your time, energy, and money, okay? I see so many people, so many stubborn people wanting to try alone. I'm going to try it one more time alone. And essentially they're the guys who never make progress and never move forwards because they're so stubborn and stuck in their own ways. And I was the same. Again, for 7 years, I'll do it by myself. I don't need help. I'm not paying for somebody. And then when I actually realized, maybe I should go and ask for help from somebody who's where I want to be, this was when I started moving forwards. Over the last 2 years alone, this is about me. I've spent over £100,000, 100K on business mentorships, fitness coaches, mindset therapists, things like that. And yes, it comes as a financial cost, but it's the cost of staying this, like, what's the cost compared to the cost of you staying the same, looking the same, feeling unhappy, feeling unfulfilled for the next 5 to 10 years? Like, what's the cost of that? Because I know that personally, it would fucking kill me. Like, if I looked in 10 years down the line and I was still in the same position I am now, looked the same, feel the same, and I hadn't got any better, it would kill me inside, and I would not want to do that, okay? So number 7 was not getting help sooner or having a clear action plan of attack. They were the 7 brutal mistakes that wasted 7 years of my life. Do not do them. Learn from them so you don't have to make the same mistakes I do and you can make progress sooner in your fitness and fat loss journey, okay? If you found it useful, remember to like, comment below if you've any of those mistakes that you're making, or comment below anything you want to see in future episodes. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, or subscribe to the Spotify channel so you get notified of future episodes. Share it to a friend who you think might benefit. If you want more information on what we do and see if we might be able to help you, there's links in the description to go to the website, go to my Instagram, message me, whatever you want to do. or book a call and find out more about what we do and see if it's something we can help you with.